So we promoted you on the program today. We had a lot of flyers out. Well, it's on Ridealong, so it's happening here.
Came over here. What does it mean? You know, I grew up in what I guess you call a typical family.
We break all the stories, and that's just a fact. And that's why everyone has a story to tell.
Ridealong live, I mean, yeah, it's the real deal.
Yeah. Welcome to Ridealong Live for today, Wednesday, Hump Day, inside of New York City. A very nice, warm day today. How you guys doing? How are you doing, peoples, friends, families, supporters, well-wishers, Linda, Lynette, who else we have in there? Sonia McKee-John on the YouTube, Veronica Edwards, Marva, Linda Blackman. Good night to you, Roger. Big up yourself, big up yourself. Guys, today is about conversation. Today is about what's happening on the political scene in Grenada. Today, as you guys probably would have witnessed earlier, this morning, the National Democratic Congress launched a total of seven caretaker candidates for the respective areas of Grenada. Because you know it's coming around that time. The election in Grenada is constitutionally due in 2023. And as you guys may have also know that the NDC, which is the main opposition party in Grenada, recently elected its brand new leader, Mr. Deacon Mitchell. So today we're going to talk about the newly elected candidates, what we know and what we don't know. We're trying to understand who they are and get a feel of the candidates. We have Mr. Kem Jones, who you guys are very familiar with. We have Moses, who's also going to be on, and Cassandra. So we want to get all different perspectives on this conversation. But most importantly, we have you guys. You guys are kind of going to buffer for me a little bit, right? Because I know and understand that in politics, we have diehard supporters. We have people who are diehard supporters of the NNP. We have people that are diehard supporters of the NDC. And I want you guys to call in and voice your opinion or tell us what you think about what's happening on the political scene, on the political arena. So that's what we're going to be speaking about today. So we have Kem Jones, you have Moses, Cassandra, and you. All right? Talking about the political scene, as I call it, the silly season in Grenada. So as you're coming, guys, go ahead and share the program, lock in the number right now, because once we start, I want you guys to call in and tell us what you think, what you thought about the candidates, what your feelings, what you know, what you don't know, what you like, what you don't like, everything, man, everything. We're talking about everything. Lay it out on the table. It's open phone lines kind of situation in this discussion here today. I want to know what all you think. And there are a lot of people who quick to you're in the chat room and your keyboard bajang and you're typing and you're saying all kind of thing. I want all you to call. Yeah, I want all you to call. Don't just be there and sitting. I want all you to call and tell me what all you think. Because today is about you. All right? Hey, Glenda, how you doing? So, let's introduce my first guest. He's no stranger to controversy. He's no stranger. He's no stranger to the ride along. My good friend, often controversial, but a nice guy. Kem Jones. Kem, what's up, my brother?
Well, it's always a pleasure, Junior, to be on your program. I look forward to your call from time to time so I can engage your audience and have a frank conversation. At the end of the day, I am not about emotion. I am more about education, empowerment, enlightenment, having a robust intellectual conversation via different platforms, including yours. So I'm here and I'm happy to be a part of your yeah.
Thank you so much, Kem, for joining us. Okay, Kem, let's go right into it. We're going to be joined with a few guests a little bit later. But we have Jab Moses who just jumped on, so we're going to bring him in one time. Jab Moses, you're there. We see you. Jab Moses, welcome. How are you doing, my brother?
Welcome and good night. Good night. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see everything is fine.
All right. Well, good night to you, Junior. Good night to you, Kem Jones. It's wonderful being back on the program. It's been a while, but I'm here, and we're here to discuss the things and chop it up and see how, we could have a productive evening. So, good afternoon to all the ride-alongs, and good afternoon to the Grenadian diaspora, and let's get down to business.
Yeah, well, let's get on to chopping it up. All right, Kem. I think I already know your answer on this, but I'm still going to ask you, Kem. What do you think about the candidate selection, the caretaker selection that was announced today?
Well, look, I am very happy that the National Democratic Congress have, put together so far 7 good candidates, excellent candidates. It's a mix. You have young people, you have women, very important, and you also have those who have been around, like the Joseph Andel and Claudia Joseph. So it's a good mix, a good combination, and I look forward to having, motion with them to get to know some of their plans and programs. Yes, I know a bit about them from, actions and conversation and so on, but I think the general public would love to know some more about, their plans and their programs from a party point of view and from their personal position that they stand on. They would have vision, they would have and so on. I'm excited. I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Before people used to say, well, the NDC is not ready yet. Well, now we are realizing NDC is already ready.
Yeah.
So I even get to know the other candidates as we move along.
Right. And we're gonna touch on the names shortly. Jab Moses, your initial reaction. They announced 7 candidates. Of course, there are going to be more, but they announced a series of candidates today. Jab Moses, what's your take? What's your reaction? First reaction to those candidates?
I feel like it's to be honest, I haven't had a chance to review all the candidates to know exactly who is who and where they're going to be running. But I would say that I feel like on the street, a lot of people are very excited in a sense. Then I'm getting a sense of excitement in terms of a wind of change is coming, and people are really excited because I was on the carnage not too long ago and I saw a whole heap of people in yellow. I saw up in St. David's and Redgate people coming out in their numbers, looking to see exactly what the leader of the National Democratic Congress has to say and what fresh wind is coming in, because a lot of people have been, I feel like there's a lot of people in Grenada who haven't been heard, the unheard people, the people who haven't been, who haven't got any stimulus check, who haven't got a way of going by right now. So these people are really looking to that leader and they're looking to hear what he has coming, how exactly they can benefit and how the country can grow with the new leadership that's going on. So that's what I'm hearing on the ground. but I haven't had a chance to review the candidates as well. But I think that the candidates is very important because remember there are some strongholds in NNP administration that no party has beaten in a good bit of years. 28 years of this administration, and the people want to change, the diaspora wants to change, but it's more so to do the groundwork, and then moving forward, we'll know exactly what's going on. But so far, it feels as though the people on the ground are excited, and people are paying attention right now to what the leaders are saying going forward.
All right, point taken. I want to play this piece of clip, Kem. Hold on, Kem. I want to play this piece of clip so we could react. Okay, Kem, you were saying something?
Well, Junior.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting a feedback from you.
You're getting a feedback. All right, stand by. Let me see if I could correct that audio.
Like something is wrong with the mic. Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a feedback from. Let me make sure everything is right here. Okay, let me just do audio sound check on the viewers, guys. If you're hearing us and seeing us clear or fine, give me a quick thumbs up. If you hear me and see me fine, give me a quick thumbs up to ensure that we are coming through the audio and everything is coming through clear. Give me a quick thumbs up if you hear me and see me fine, guys, because this is a conversation I want you to engage in. I want you guys to share. I want you guys to participate in. I want no problems. I don't want no internet problems. I don't want no kind of cut off or nothing like that. So give me a quick thumbs up if you hear me and see me fine. If you're hearing the guests and you're seeing them fine, give me a quick thumbs up. And don't forget to share. Okay, Garden, Golden Queen, everything is good? It's good on your end? Everything okay? All right, feedback king. Okay, it's good. All right, Kev. All right, cool. So let me play back this clip, Kev, and then I'll bring you in to react to it. Earlier today, someone sent me this video, and it was a reaction from a former minister. He's looking to run in the upcoming election. He was a part of the GULP a few years ago. His name is Mr. Michael Batiste, and he made these statements. I want to play it back so you guys could react to it and tell me what you think. This is Michael Batiste's take on what's happening here with the NDC and in terms of the inexperience of the political leader and the candidates. Listen to this.
In more news, a two-time former MP Michael Batiste has said that inexperience and uncertainty about what the new National Democratic Congress Party stood for will be a major hindrance to it being seriously considered by the Grenadian electorate. Batiste, who has declared he will be a candidate for St. Andrews Southwest, the area he once represented twice in Parliament, said Grenadians will blink when they think of electing the untried in a nation coming out of a pandemic.
I'll be brutally honest with you. They have a leader who is relatively unknown. You have never heard him on a platform. You have never heard him on a calling program. You don't know where he stands. You don't know his philosophy. This is a pandemic. Our economy has collapsed. And you're talking now about putting someone in the driver's seat who have never driven before. I mean, that's a daunting task that the people of Grenada are asked to make there. And I'm not excited about the prospect of that. And then to couple that, we are talking about bringing in new people. You said you want a clean slate. You're bringing in a completely new team. Some of them have no work experience themselves. Some of these folks, some of them were maybe work with government for a little while. They have no experience in the business sector. The leader himself have no experience in anything. I know that people do want to change, but what are you changing to? Are you changing to an unknown? You're changing with somebody. I mean, it would be the first time in the history of Grenada, save and except during the Union, when we had when the United States government installed an interim government where they give us a leader that we knew nothing about. It would be the first time that the Grenadian people are asked to make a man prime minister that they actually don't know. You don't know what he stands. You don't know where he stands on anything. And I mean, that's the gospel truth. I mean, it's not a personal attack or criticism.
Batiste also claimed that NDC's Mitchell, Batiste also claimed that NDC's Mitchell has what he calls serious conflicts of interest that must be explained even before he is considered.
Former leader of the NDC spoke about accountability and transparency. And I'm rather disappointed when I heard Deacon said his company, his law firm is not involved in selling passwords, but he has an interest in a company that's selling passwords. That in itself is very, very, very dangerous. Number one, the fact that he has admitted so, he needs to come to the Grenadian people and say the name of the company. And he needs to tell the Grenadian people how many passports he sold. And you know one thing, in all fairness, now every time someone is apprehended on the wrong side of the law with a Grenadian passport, we jump on the Prime Minister's chest. Okay? And we said, NNP selling passport to crooks. But as we found out now, it's not just NNP selling the passports, there are agents to selling the passport, including the leader. So we
All right, let's stop it there and get your guys' reaction to this. Kim, what's your reaction to this? Inexperience might be a big play in this election where we have a leader who has not held any political office before and a slew of candidates, some of them who have not held any ministerial offices before as well. What's your defense in terms of experience?
Junior, I'm laughing because who you had on that video a while ago? Michael Batiste.
Yeah.
Junior, who was the person? Michael Batiste?
Yeah, Michael Batiste.
Yeah, who is this guy? What is his relevance in 2022? I mean, I thought, he was old school, and I mean, he's not a player in the scheme of things. Here you have some guy, right? Maybe what his name is, Michael Batiste, who is stuck in the past, believe in come in and talk now, after a very long time. I think he's representing GOLP. I thought Gary Berry with GOLP. That's still around. And who is he going after? Deacon Mitchell? Deacon, the NDC? Come on, you talk about inexperience. Tell me where one goes to learn to be a prime minister. Is there a school that you have to go to be a prime minister? If there's a school, a university, you become a minister, or you have to have a first degree to be a minister, a second degree. I mean, this kind of lunacy is only for some people who are afraid of change, who believe in the old-time kind of way of governance. I mean, we have long gone past this rubbish. I am saying, Michael Batiste is a non-entity in the scheme of things in this country. We are forging a new path. Here you have an intelligent young man who believes in Grenada, who wants to see good for Grenada. He has a vision for Grenada. In fact, let me make it very clear. He has already set out serious policy defense. The NDC political leader is saying once the NDC gets into office, the folks who contract with in the public service, they will become permanent. In other words, they will be able to go to a credit union, a better loan, buy a house, buy some, whatever. Take control of their lives, job security. The NNP, however, is saying, no, we can't do that. We cannot do that. We will leave them on contract and push left center. So they negotiate for better wages, negotiate better, so they're stuck. The saying comes to the pension, right? Or every worker, they're entitled to a pension and to gratuity, and they will make that happen. The NN, however, is saying, well, we have to wait on a judge to tell the government it is right and proper public officers when they retire, a pension and a gratuity. But amazingly, the NNP did not wait on to go in the parliament and pass a law giving the politician after 4 years a big fat pension. So there's a gratuity.
Kim, I have to stop you here. Hold on, Kim. Kim, 1 second. Kim, 1 second. 1 second. Kim, 1 second. No, your audio is sticking. Your internet is freezing up. So just recycle. Just go out and come back in, and that should take the problem we have with the audio. Like you get some low signal, so it's kind of breaking up a bit. So just recycle and come back in. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm seeing your comments. We're having some audio issues coming from Kim, and he's gonna go back up and come back in, and hopefully that fixed the problem right here. Guys, we're talking about the selection of candidates, the selection of caretaker candidates for the NDC that was released today, and the Michael Batiste may not be one of the politicians that's in headline politics, but that's conversation that's been held. So we brought that up so that as an opposition to our opposition or defense to what is happening, he's been speaking out about it. Jab Moses, you heard what Michael Batiste said, and I'm sure you heard the talk already. People are speaking about it. What's your take on that position?
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest, I feel like due respect to Michael Batiste and the fact that he contributed in the development of St. Andrews, based on my observation and based on what the people have been saying on the ground, is that he's responsible for a lot up my side, especially he was one of the persons who basically carved out the different playing fields in like St. James, St. Andrews, Ladigue and so on. So he has done well before. He has also trained a lot of different youths in St. Andrews who are now qualified electricians, and so I feel like everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, but at the end of the day, Michael Batiste is not running a campaign, neither is he in the political atmosphere in Grenada, right? So yes, we take his opinion, but it doesn't mean that this is what is resonating with the youthful population. Right now, I'm on the streets every day, and I could tell you, the youths want a change, Junior. The youths want to hear a wind of change. We are tired. We cannot buy house. We can't buy land. We can't pay our bills on time. Food inflation has just gone skyrocket high. People cannot get basic needs to just fend for themselves. So we need a way out, and we just feel like 28 years of the new National Party is just not cutting it. We want a change. And yes, Michael Batiste did say inexperience, but Trump had no experience as a politician, and America took him on, and he did good things. Yes, he had his bad, and we'll go into that, you know what I'm saying?
Trump, I don't think that's a good correlation to bring in Trump into this conversation. I don't think Trump did. I understand your point of view, but Trump is not a good example.
My point is right. All right. So let's just give Mia Motley an example then. She was not a politician before. Probably Trump was the wrong example. But I'm just saying is that the youthful population in Grenada is saying that we are willing to give somebody a try. He's youthful, he's energetic, he's speaking the things that we want to hear, the legalization of marijuana, the people who are not permanent workers in government becoming permanent. We want to hear these things. We want to hear the youthful population being eligible for loans in the bank, to be able to build houses and to be able to have a future, to be able to be eligible for a loan in GDB or one of the big banks in Grenada like Republic. It's just so hard in Grenada at this moment in time when you're working for 6-7 years and you are on a contract. When you go to the bank is saying, how long is your contract? The contract is going to be renewed every year. They can't give you a loan for 20 years. They can't give you a loan for 5 years. I want to apologize to everybody on the live because I see people saying that Trump was a bad excuse. Anyways, what I'm saying is that I think that Michael Batiste has an opinion, but going forward, we cannot look at experience to grow our economy and for the future of the youthful population. What I really think that we need to do, we need to focus on the leader at hand and look at the two leaders and look at the words that these leaders have been uttering to us and look at their actions and see the different things that they tried, all the plans and all the things that they tried to execute before. It just didn't come out. So much failed projects, so much failed talks, so much lies. Like up to now, the youths are wondering, well, where's the oil? You understand where I'm coming from, Junior? We are thinking about where's the oil, where's the free education, where's the free tablets. All these talks and these promises have not been established by the new national party. So the youthful population is saying, look, we have a chance now to make a change. And we are looking to the NDC because all the other parties have basically dropped out and we don't see any other strong leadership but Deacon Mitchell. So we are going with the younger one and we want the change. So this is where we are looking at. I could just be speaking for myself and the people that I'm around, but this is what I'm hearing on the street, Junior. So I honestly believe, yes, Michael Batiste has a point in terms of experience, but we cannot use experience to determine the leader going forward. We want change and we need change and we have to give somebody a try. It's just like the youths. When you go to a work, they tell you, oh, you have to have 5 years experience. I just finished college. How again 5 years experience to come and do the work? Train me, bring me in the system and teach me. If I have the right motive and the right mindset towards it, I will understand, I will gravitate and bring people in to help me go forward. So we can't be thinking about back then. We have to think about 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, Junior.
Kim? Let me see if Kim is back with us. Kim, are you hearing us properly? All right, we're sorting out Kim audio there. You're having some audio video problem. We come to the caller on the line. Caller, you like where you're calling us from?
Hi, I'm calling from Toronto.
Go ahead, Toronto.
So, Junior, actually, just a few things, right? So, I'm Grenadian, obviously. I was born in Grenada, but fortunate enough to have dual citizenship between Grenada and Canada, right?
Yes.
And fortunate enough for me, I was able, the COVID caught me on the greener side of things. It caught me in Canada, right?
Right.
And although I worked in Grenada, most of my early adult life, like that's where I paid my tax. I came over here and the government able to take care of me as a citizen. I'm going to school, you know, and just the privileges that I was able to get, even though this is not the country I paid my tax in and this is not where I was born, right? Now, thinking back and now kind of understanding, kind of annoying to me that my own country isn't able to do something like that for me, right? But another country is. So then I started opening my eyes and starting to see, you know, how much Grenada needs to catch up. And then there are people talking about, oh, experience. We've had experience, and where did that get us? Then experience is just going to help us being stuck in our old head. It's going to make us not want change, not want to bring in new ideas, not want to try new things. So I think that where the NDC is actually going is amazing, and I applaud them. They actually have my foot 1,000,000 times one. I would fly back to vote them in. And to be honest, I don't know any of them personally, but I've been in circles where, you know, these individuals showed their true colors, like Mr. Mitchell. I was actually there when he was elected as the president of Green Street PTA. And the guy is a humble guy. You know, he wasn't running for leader at that time, but he was showing his true self. The girl from Guava as well, I know her through school. Julian, I applaud them, and I just wish that a lot more young people just get on the train so that, you know, a lot of experience and people out here will want to come back home and better Grenada. You know, we just need to get behind them, give them the support, and let's get this man out.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Paula. That's very good. We're still having some issues connecting with Kim. So let me go down the list of the candidates, some of the candidates that was announced today. We have for the candidate for St. Patrick West, we have Mr. Joseph Andel. Deacon Mitchell is going to represent for the constituency of St. David. We have Jonathan Lacrette for St. George Northwest, Claudette Joseph for the tongue of St. George. We have a few more we're going to announce. We have a call on the line. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead.
I'd like to ask, but I know he's not there to answer the question, but Batiste, what age did Kit Mitchell came into politics? If you think that Mr. Dixon is too young to be in politics, and my thing, there's a whole lot of young people that is in the party, NDC party. We have elderly people who can hold their hand and walk them through if you think that they're not capable of doing what they're supposed to do. They're like kids. You have adults. We have parents. Our parents teach us what to do when we as we grow older. So you know, they'll be taught. They'll be taught.
Yes.
That's my thing. Yeah, they'll be taught. And I think, I sat here today and I tell you my skin raised when I saw the crowd and the noise. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could be home. Trust me, I wish I could be home. But I think they're going with a very good route in terms of getting the youth together, leading the country forward. And I'm with them. I'm with them all the way.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller. Kem, you're back. We've seen you, but you're kind of sideways, lap side. So just turn your phone the other way so that it will go right side. That's fine. Leave it that way. Right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Kem, you hearing us better now?
Yeah, right. I just showing the settings on. I want to make sure that you're hearing me.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Perfect.
And you're actually seeing me, I suppose.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Right, and I do apologize for that, with technology. Right. But so Junior, I was saying that the young people in Grenada, they have heard 3 very powerful policy positions of Deacon Mitchell and the NDC. NDC, Deacon Mitchell stated clearly that currently we have a lot of people who are on contract within the public service. And it is really and truly keeping them back from, at least owning a home, owning a piece of land, buying a car, and we can go on and on. And the NDC is committing and saying once they get into power, they will make these people permanent. That's a very solid policy position. Right? My audio.
Yeah, your audio is good, but there's something in your background. Is there a TV or something in your background?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so yeah, I'm hearing you fine. I think everyone is hearing you fine, Kim. So you could go ahead about the policy positions.
Right, and then right. Then he states so in terms of pension and gratuity. Do you want me to really change it for something? Let me just change the phone because I find it.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, no problem, guys. Again, we want you guys to chime in on this topic right here. This is where we are. We have the NDC today launching a list of 7 candidates, right? I wanted also Kem to give me a run through of some of the candidates and what we know about the candidates. I know a few of them. Of course, we know from Tevin Andrews, who has been on this for a while. He contested in the last election. We know Mr. Joseph Andel, and let me see who else on there. Moses, did you get a chance to see the list? Because I have on the list of that I have there's only and of course we know Claudette Joseph, which I want to ask him about. There are and Deacon Mitchell from St. David's. Those are all the candidates that I know so far. So what I wanted to find out from Kem or anyone that could chime in and give us some more information on it is a little more information about the other candidates, like the Jonathan Lacrette, right? Moses, are you there?
Because I think that's the first time I've heard that name as well too.
Right. Okay. Kem is back. Kem, you back with us?
All right.
Kem, you back?
Tell me, Junior, is this better?
Right. I'm hearing you good now. I'm hearing you good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm hearing you good. I see Orlando is calling me. Orlando, unless you want to go live, we're on the air live right now. You want to come in live? I'll call you back. Yes. All right, Kem, here's what I want to find out from you. If you could give us a rundown. There are some candidates that I'm seeing for the first time. I don't know how much information you could give me about them. Lacrette, Jonathan Lacrette. Who is Jonathan Lacrette? From the St. George Northwest.
Right, so many people will know him as a person who worked in education. I think he acted as a principal in Happy Hill Secondary. He's a very spiritual person too. I think He is deep in the church. He's a very quiet person, but he's an educator. His background is really in education. Well, that is where I got to know the young man, right? And he worked in Happy Hill. I don't know which part exactly. I think Fontenoy. I think that is where he's from. Fontenoy area, I think.
Okay. All right. And the young man from St. Mark.
Right, that's Quincy Britton. Right? He
Yes,
has always been an advocate and an activist, more or less, for community. For he has been advocating for betterment within St. Mark. I know him to be somewhat an entrepreneur, involved in business and so on. He's actively involved in the community. He's not a stranger to the people of Victoria and throughout St. Mark. He's a very nice person, a very nice gentleman. In my view, he's young, yes, but he has been involved in a number of things besides just him in his own little business and so on, functioning there. It's a nice gentleman.
Okay. This is one that you know and we know as well. Claudette Joseph. We know Claudette Joseph, but Kim,
Right.
you are very hard on Claudette Joseph in the early phases of things before the election of Deacon Mitchell. Do you now support Claudette? Have things changed with Claudette? Are you support
Right. For me, I am now basing my going forward on data. I am privy to data that indicates that Claudette has a chance of winning that constituency, right? Just as Joseph Andal, for example, because I was of the view that based on the amount that she lost by, right, the last time around, you may need to get somebody who can actually make up and even attract new. But what data is showing is that Peter lost some grounds on the Carenage, for example, and in the River Road, right? Because people expected Peter to emerge within the party as some senior person within there, but they saw with their very eyes kind of downgrade that he got. So the data is pointing differently now, and I support her. I believe she has a good chance of defeating the said individual. Same with Joseph Andal. You see, for me, I am a team player. When we started off, remember, many people don't give us credit, Youth for Change in particular, for stepping forward, young people, and calling for change within the NDC and within Grenada. Eventually, we have seen that, right? A new leader, fresh leader, a lot of young people are involved in the process, a lot of women are involved in the process. So I am a team player. I am now supporting the entire team of the NDC to form the government, to defeat Keith Mitchell and the NNP, because I believe they are the better choice at this point in time in going forward. But Junior, I want to make a very important point. I was stating earlier about policy, because I am firm on that. I am not interested in you asking me or anybody asking me, what's about this man and this woman? I am interested in policy. I'm interested in what this party versus this party will do for community, will do for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. But here it is. If you are in government, I must first assess your performance, because you are given a mandate to govern for a specific period of time, and it is our expectation that you will improve the lives of our people, improve our communities, and improve the country. And I must assess that. In other words, I must look at healthcare and I must assess it and say, but have we improved? And the answer is no. I must look at education and say, have we improved? And the answer is no. I must look at the roads, the condition of our roads. Have we improved there? And the answer is no. I must look also at cost of living, the price of goods, basic food items. And it is extremely high. Our electricity cost, it is extremely high. We have seen the increase in our water bill. They have increased water in terms of per gallon under this regime. Further, I have seen unemployment increase significantly. I have seen poverty increase significantly, I must say, corruption in government, and we can go on and on and on. We must assess this regime because they're in government. They're spending our tax money. I am seeing people who I know who work for 30 years in government, 35 years, and they are retiring back into poverty with no pension and no gratuity. I am simply saying we must first evaluate their performance, and then we can now look at X candidate versus this candidate, or this leader versus that leader. And I think that is where the maturity comes in. I hear people talking about the experience and experience. I asked the question before I had the technical glitch. Can you tell me, Junior, what university one can go in to study to become a prime minister? Can you tell me what university a person can go in to study to become a minister? Keith Mitchell, when he started off, he started very young. People were not asking whether he's experienced or not. In fact, the youngest of government or regime did remarkably well in terms of the development of this country. Every time we speak about development, we have to go back to the period of the revolution. Tell me the age of these people. Were Grenadians saying, well, they were inexperienced? Where would they get the experience from? Look at it. We got Maurice Bishop International Airport under the revolution, and it is an important pillar in this economy. We got NIS, we got MNIB, and we can go on and on. Gary, and give him what it is. He brought in SGU. But can you tell me, after Keith Mitchell has been there for 20-something years as the leader, what you can point to that can really bring in the kind of money like SGU or the airport? You can't tell me the stadium, because they're having some cricket in soon time, and it's alleged about $5 million they have to take from taxpayers' money to get the games and to have this thing going. So you're taking money and spend on this thing, it's not making money. It's a white elephant. I am saying we are now more conscious-minded as young people, as Grenadians. We are scrutinizing this regime, but we are also asking the NDC, what do you intend to do? And that is why I heard Deacon Mitchell stated clearly that the NDC will not decriminalize ganja or cannabis. They will legalize it. So the small man, the simple man will be able to plant something and sell it to the person who might be exporting or maybe turning it into cannabis oil, soap, something cosmetic for the skin. In other words, if you decriminalize, the big boys go eat a food because they have to go by the minister to get a license, and the minister on and the minister this. In other words, that's a very important industry that can create decent paying jobs, but there's a big difference. NDC is saying we're going to legalize it, regulate it, expunge the criminal records, clean the records of our people who have been wrongfully arrested and charged and thrown into jail for this, and also offer a formal apology to the Rastafarian community who have been persecuted and prosecuted wrongfully so. This is a part of the religion. But the NNP is saying they're going to decriminalize, but our boys and girls, our young people, will still end up in front of a magistrate or in front of a judge because they may carry 5 spliffs instead of 4 or plant 4 trees instead of 3. I am simply saying there's policy difference, and that is what we have to focus on. When I hear Deacon say pension is a must, and I said that earlier before I had the technical glitch, I was happy because here you have a government in power taking taxpayers' money, and that must be made clear, taking taxpayers' money and defending the government's position, which is, I don't want to pay the pension, I don't want to pay the gratuity. So they want a judge now to agree with them that no pension should be paid to a person who works, a nurse, a police officer, a prison officer, a cleaner, a cook, who worked for 35 years and going home with nothing. This is criminal, in my opinion. I am simply saying we need to look at it in a very realistic way. How could we have a government taking our taxpayers' money and frying us with that same money, that same oil. You should never, ever, never, ever put up a defense when it comes to pension and gratuity. That's a must. So I am saying we have enough before us, Junior, to really look at the issues. What do we want for Grenada? What do we want for our communities? What do we want for our families? I see young people every single day. They're frustrated. They're bright. They're scholastic in every way. But Junior, where is the work? Where the work will come from? They go into the Indian store. They go to the Syrian store. What next? They go to a hotel, because you know this government is big on hotels. And either they become a housekeeper, a garden boy, or a bell boy, or something of that sort. I am saying the bigger jobs are taken by foreigners. I am saying our young people, some of them end up in the madhouse, or we say the psychiatric hospital. They're frustrated. Where next to? And that is why they end up by you most times, Junior. In the Big Apple, in the United States of America, in Canada, in England. We want opportunities. We want, and my brother was saying it, our young people should know that there's a better life besides this thing here, where you have to catch your hell to make ends meet. You walk in for little and you just can't see your way. There is a better life. And that is what I am fighting for. I want young people to get a better life.
Right. We're looking at primarily, guys, on the question of on the topic of the selection of the candidates and understanding who the candidates are. I'm sure within the next couple of weeks and months, we'll bring on some of the caretakers here and see how we could, get more and understand. And
Junior, Tevin is not really new, because he ran in the last election. I think he lost by about 100 and something votes, right?
Yes.
So he's not. And I think he lost by about 400 and something votes.
Right. So we have these candidates.
You're not really new. Lacrette is new.
Yes.
Quincy is new. That's Britain. Kyrene James is, yes, she was a senator.
I was trying to find Kyrene.
But she's new. Kyrene James, and mind you, Kyrene is on my constituency. I am from St. John. I'm a Grand Roy man. I'm a Guave man. I mean, I am grounded in that constituency, and I am supporting Kyrene James 100%. In fact, I will campaign night and day to ensure that she is victorious. She's really a decent human being, right? So that's free, right? And I think next week, Junior, I think Monday they'll be announcing a new candidate, right? On Monday, and I think during the week another one will be named, and the others, because from all indications, NDC has nearly all the candidates in place already. Just a matter of rolling them out. Right.
We're still looking for Cassandra to come in. I didn't see she jump on us yet. Jab Moses, jump in here, because you're on the streets. You see what's happening. You're speaking to people. You're hearing what they're saying about what's happening on the ground. Are you getting the sense that in your constituency, in your area, that the forces and the trajectory, the push is behind the NDC from your area? On what exactly youth saying? What are they saying? What are the policies that they like, and what are the things that they don't like? You're muted, Moses. Yeah, Moses, we're not hearing you. All right. Okay, we're not hearing Job Moses. Moses, come again? No, we're not hearing you. We're not hearing him. Kim, I know you have to go just now as well, because you have your 8 o'clock program in 10 minutes.
Yes. No, look, what is happening here in terms of the internet and so on, it is a product. It is as a result of a failed regime. The infrastructure in Grenada is very poor. Internet, electricity, just utilities across the board, Junior. I mean, it is terrible, to say the least. And the government has not invested significantly in improving the system. We are like, a fifth world country when we're supposed to be way more advanced. You have a prime minister who speaks about being involved in ICT and his vision and all those different things, but they're not really materializing. You're not getting results out of this. It's just big talk, fluffy talk, and that's all. I am saying the time has come for us to be real. Our internet is bad. You have some places when you look at the kind of water, the color of the water, my brother, it is like chocolate all over again. So the infrastructure is poor.
I agree.
And you know,
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, all right, Moses, we're hearing you now.
Yeah,
Go
trust
ahead.
me. I agree with what you're saying, Kim. I feel like there's a lot of things that we need to put into consideration, especially for the youthful population. I'm saying that education, we haven't had a drastic change in focus, or we haven't had a revolution in our education system. We are still going by the CXC and their syllabus, and we are still remaining the same way that we have been for the last 28 years. If we are to go forward, we need to make sure that we put in place things, for example, let's say science. The world right now is governed in science. COVID-19, look how much billionaires made money off of just science. The scientists that we are brewing in Grenada, that we are sending out to different countries with the scholarships, they are coming back to Grenada and they cannot even get a job because they are saying that you're overqualified and we can't pay you. It's ridiculous to see my family, who I know, nurses who have trained in Grenada for all their years, all their life, and they have to leave Grenada because the job that they have as a nurse or as a doctor cannot even sustain themselves and their family. And I feel like to a certain extent, we have to have a conversation so that going forward, people can be adequately paid. It's too long that the Grenadian population has been disenfranchised and being taken abused. We're being abused by a lot of these big corporations and the Syrian stores and the Chinese. These people are coming and take our jobs. They're actually coming and take the bread and butter that we need to sustain ourselves. And I feel like going forward, the youths are thinking about, how am I going to buy a car? How am I going to open that business? How am I going to save some money? How am I going to have a pension plan? Or how am I going to afford a doctor bill? It's just simple things like that, to be able to pay a bill and to be able to have a savings to go to the doctor. You're not ask nobody for that. These are the things that the youths are thinking about. They're thinking about 3-4 years down the line, when I have a family, what am I going to have? Am I going to have a house to provide for my family? Am I going to have a stable job that I don't have to worry about a contract? I could take out a loan and build a house to shelter me and my family. Am I going to have job security? Am I going to be sustainable in terms of my job is going to give me enough so I don't have to hurt my head and not to do a second job? You understand? These are the things that the people are thinking about. And somebody on the live just mentioned that it's burning them to know that their sister is in Grenada with multiple degrees and is working for $1,200. But this is the reality of the thing. I know people who working for $30 a day in the Syrian stores, $25 a day. I know people who working for $40 a day, doing hard labor work. And if we cannot have this conversation in Grenada to say that this is 2022, no longer can you come and pay a man $40 to do a 8-square task in the hot burning sun. It just can't work, Junior. So we need to set a standard in Grenada going forward. We need to pay our nurses. We need to pay our teachers adequately so that these people can be passionate about the work that they're doing and cause a ripple effect in terms of our nation becoming healthy, because we have nurses to help us. We have doctors to help us. We have a proper health facility. Everywhere I go, everybody complaining about the health facility. Every single household complaining about health. Yes, the money is bad and we're not being paid adequately, but people are looking, when I get in my old age, will I be able to access good health? Look, right now, sometimes we don't even have an X-ray machine and walk-in operational, the dialysis machine. These are the things that are very important, because when I hear, Junior, my neighbor or my friend cannot access dialysis in this country, when I seen the billion, how much hundreds of millions of dollars and they build in hotel, and you mean to say you can't buy an X-ray machine for the same country that you investing in? So what these investors and them, they only thinking about themselves. They come just for monetary gains. They have an ulterior motive in investing in Grenada. Because you could spend $100 million to build a facility or a hotel, why you can't help with a facility of health or help in culture, or help in education? You just want to come and own everything in Grenada. You don't work in so that is why I personally admire the leadership of Deacon Mitchell, because he give me a sense of hope. He make me feel like, you know, we have a next shot at this. And I just want to encourage a lot of the youths in Grenada as well to go and get registered. Don't just sit down and talk with your friends. Go and get registered. You want a change? Start with us. Any youth, if you feel you're 25 or 30, you could get into politics too. If you are an advocate and you want to make sure that you change in Grenada in the next 5 to 10 years, you have to get up now. If we sit down, we will never get anything. Never get anything. And I want to applaud Mr. Killer for talking out. And I want more youthful people to talk out. We fed up. We want a change. We need a change. We need a better way going forward. We need it.
Yeah. Well, I want to applaud the brother. I mean, he could not have said it better. My brother, I want to applaud you, because I think we are thinking on the same wavelength. We want betterment in this country. But Junior, you know I have to run, but I want to thank the nurses. By now, Junior, you may know that I welcomed yesterday about 4:49 my little princess, right? She was born yesterday. And I want to thank the nurses and the doctors and everybody who worked to make sure that she's healthy, safe, and secure, right? I had the opportunity, again, for the second time, to go in the labor room, so to speak, where the delivery was taking place, to experience it myself. And, you know, I see with my very eyes the kind of hard work that they're doing to make sure that we're safe in this messy system of health in Grenada. The building is run down, the facility, I mean, you could just go on and on and on. They just don't have the kind of equipment and materials to do their work, but still they do it, boy. They still do it. I want to thank them very much. And Junior, it's always a pleasure being on. And my brother, I really want to applaud you. I want to say to you, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a marvelous job articulating, speaking about the issues that we all face in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Change will come, and it must come, and it's coming. And it will be sooner than many people thought, or maybe envisioning. It's coming. I'm telling you. I'm on the ground every day, and I speak to people. I listen to people, and I get it. I get it straight up. They tell you as is. Today, a lady met me in town. She said, Kim Jones, I can't wait. She said, me and my 4 children, you know, we registered already. We can't wait. We want to get rid of. And she made it very clear. She said they voted for the NNP in the last election. But right now, she can't wait. She want to get them out. And she can explain issues. So again, Junior, thank you very much, my brother. Stay good. I have to run to my program now. Junior, it's always a pleasure.
Big up, thank you.
Thanks.
We got a caller on the line. Let's just jump on the phone lines right now. Caller, you're live, go right ahead. Caller on the phone line. Call on the WhatsApp. Hold on 1 second. Caller, go right ahead.
A pleasant evening, and to your panelists this evening.
Yes.
I have been listening, and there's so much to be desired from some things that's been said. I mean, for Kem to say that Keith Mitchell and the regime, I want to know what country is Kem living in, because you got to be so careful. If he's looking towards his leader, who is the leader of the NDC now, to run Grenada, would his mouth change? Would the term regime be stopped used when that leader becomes prime minister? He's prime minister in waiting, and you got to be so careful what you say about things. We live in a diaspora, and when we listen to certain things, we have to be so conscious, and we got to be so careful. We got to open our ears and eyes and listen and stop being biased. We are a biased nation, you know. We have to be very, very careful. The things that we put out there, what we put out there is, as old people say, if you don't put a cocoa, please don't look for rain. But you're putting cocoa out there, tell yourself, this is something that's going to continue to go on. We have a history, and we know it.
Yes.
We have a sort of attitude, and we need that needs to be changed. It's not now, but a lot of things is being blamed on the politicians. We as a people, and I'm fearlessly saying, we have an attitude. We have some young people in our country who does not like to work. They do not like agriculture, and yet our agro industry is not no way close to being perfect. We doesn't have any produce any or food security. We are at a risk. We are at risk. We saw what the pandemic did, and we need to open our eyes and we need to come together. Where is this changing attitude coming about?
Yeah,
we have parents who cannot follow children. So it's a lot of things that is being said here that has to be addressed. Kim talked about the marijuana being legalized. If you're going to legalize marijuana, I want to know, does Kim think that Grenada needs some form of constitution reform or some sort of judiciary reform? What happened? The last time that referendum was supposed to be
well, the referendum was all very politicized. You know, it was politicized by both parties, hence the reason why it never went through, because in order to get a 67% majority, the both parties have to come together, and it was politicized, and it was doomed from the beginning. If that was the way how it was going about, you know, they wouldn't get it if the both parties didn't come together. But I get your point. You know, it's important. I don't like around this time. You see, when election time comes.
About the members, and he's a astute member of the National Democratic Congress, and we need to know. People need to know who they are voting for, who are they elected to office, and governing. Running for an election and governing is a thing. That's what we have to be very careful. And there is a notion I really want to
make it fun quick. Sorry, I don't want to rush you, but I have two calls on the other line. So just
I want to know in the Constitution of Grenada if there's a time limit or age limit for persons running for election and these things. This propaganda people trying to spread about kids is too old to run and whatever it is. We don't want to hear that. I'm not interested as a voter.
Okay.
Hearing he's 70, he could be 80. Look at Joe Biden. I don't care how old he is. Once he can run, let them run.
Okay.
And lead the country.
Point taken. Thank you so much. You got a caller on the WhatsApp. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Junior.
My name is Kieran Joseph. Yeah.
Moses, hold on a second, Moses. We got a caller on the WhatsApp. Go ahead. Call on the WhatsApp.
My name is Kieran Joseph.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm calling to plead a complaint concerning pertaining to victimization in Grenada.
Okay, does it have anything specifically to do with the topic that we're discussing now? If it's a totally different topic, we could take it on after the program. You could call me and we could talk about it.
The topic earlier on, what was it entails about?
We're talking about the political scene in Grenada, where the NDC just selected its caretaker candidates. Does it have anything to do with that, or is something completely different?
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, so call me back after the program, and we'll discuss it further. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
I appreciate you. Again, 718-701-5720. Moses, you were saying?
Yeah, Junior, I find like a lot of people I don't understand why is it that people are taking or putting so much passion into the fact that they're putting age to determine whether or not somebody is eligible to run for government. I don't think it's a conversation we should be even having, to be honest, right. Junior, you know what I'm saying? Like, respect to the two politicians, and if the party itself, NNP and NDC, decide to elect their leaders, I think there are smart people on the panel and the ministers to know exactly who they're going on with. You understand? So I don't understand why we are staying on this thing about the age. You understand? I believe that both candidates are of age to run. It's all about the policy. Who can bring and give Grenadians what they actually need and not just want? You know? Yeah. So I think it should be more on policy than age. We should focus more on policy.
Okay. Point taken there. Let's jump to the phone lines. Caller on the WhatsApp, go right ahead.
Yes, Junior.
Yes.
Experience. We're talking about experience, right?
Yes.
But I think we need to change the point of view of what type of experience we're looking for. Because if we're talking about experience, and experience in the oppression of which Grenada state has been in the last 28 years, who better than the youth? Because we are the ones that are basically graduating and can't get a job. We're the ones that see our parents struggling hard to send us to school, and the state We just cannot support them. We're the ones that are forced to leave our country to go out there to fend for our people back home. We are the ones that are like that are in the middle of the oppression. So who else? What other experience do we need to get to go in there and change things? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And then we are saying, oh, we have been bringing in hotels, right? And then we're not even saying, okay, these people have to contribute this amount of money towards the nation of Grenada in turn, you know? Or, okay, these people are selling rum in Grenada. It's a thing. Everybody's drinking rum. But then you're not taxing, you know, a single tax that can go back into the reform of our youth or our nation or something like that. Come on, we need to fix our nation.
So hold on. Do they not have a tax on rum? You're saying they don't have a tax on rum?
No, I mean a tax. No, they should put like a special, what I'm saying, like a special tax in terms of, you know, because it's spoiling our youths, right? So if we're saying, okay, you want to sell it, no problem, we have no problem, right? But on every dollar, and on every $26, let's say $1 is going to go towards this special program that can go to, you know, a rehabilitation center for people with abuse or, you know, drug issues, those type of things. That's the way we should tackle things. They claim we don't have money, but then we have so many revenues that can bring in the money, but then all the experienced heads are just having us in one state. I don't get it. We need to get out. No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller, for your input. We got another caller on the phone line. Caller on the phone line, go right ahead. Where you calling us from? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Caller, turn on your background. Listen to me on the phone lines, not on the live. So turn on the background live and listen to me on the phone line.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead. Where you calling us from?
I'm calling from New York.
Go right ahead.
Okay, listen. I don't care about no age.
Right.
I don't care who old and who don't old and who's young in that party, because from the time God bring us out into the world, from a minute our age starting to rise to 101. I am interested about the people at Grenada. I am interested about the young people in Grenada, the people who is suffering for health and whatnot. Okay? This is what I have to see. It's time to get these people out. It's time. My people, my country, they are suffering. I am talking from New York. Okay? Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, caller, from New York. We're getting, someone just messaged me on the WhatsApp saying, I think that age has nothing to do with it. If age was so important to Grenadian, then Mr. Mitchell should be asked to step down as the Prime Minister or a politician. The argument of age, I don't think the question should be about age. Okay, yeah, Jab Moses, you have to leave. All right, Moses, I know you have to leave. You want to make a final point?
It shouldn't be about it shouldn't. Yeah, I honestly believe that it should not be about age. I believe that going into this election, we need to sit down and psychoanalyze both leaders, look at their words, look at the promises that these leaders have made, and look at what they have actually done. You judge somebody based on their actions, based on the results that they have given the people. And you look to the people, you do polls, you do things specifically to see how the people on the ground are feeling. And then we could have a better understanding as towards how Grenada has to go forward. But basically, based on my observation, everybody's looking for change. The youthful population right now engaged. They want change. They just want change. They want to know tomorrow when they get up, they have an opportunity to have a stable job. They want to know the bills are not sky high. The price of food is not ridiculous as it is right now. People want to be sustainable. People want to be secure. And people are looking for change. So all this argument about age and who put in there and all of that, let's just forget about that. Let's speak about the positive things. Let's try going forward, speaking about the policies, how we're going to have a better GDP for Grenada. If we want to go back in agro-processing, who are we going to contact, or where are we going to get the machines, or what directly are we going to do as a country united going forward? And yes, it's a big argument. Politics is dirty. It's a big game. But we need the youthful population to be more engaged And for us going forward to have a more positive mindset and stop all of this back and forth, color this and this one young and this one old. We don't have no time for that. Grenada in a bad, understand, and the world in a bad stage right now. They said that Grenada went back more than 20 years economically. Junior, you know how significant that is to hear that coming out from the news that Grenada has gone back more than 20-something years. That's a big alarm, and I really believe that going forward, we need to break up and rebuild. We cannot continue going forward how it is right now. But anyways, I want to say good night to everybody on Ride Along and all the listeners. And Junior, it was nice to be here, but you know how the thing go.
Yeah, man, I know you go. I'll stay on for a few more minutes and take some calls, taking your calls live on the line. We're talking about this argument, because it seems to me it's going to be an election based on experience and inexperience. Or people start to talk about the age thing, which I don't think should be a point of debate. But it's going in the direction of, and I'm seeing it already, there we have an experienced party and people who've been tested, and here we have a new leader with a slew of candidates who have not been tested. People are starting to make that comparison. I want you guys to chime in on this. Do you think that might be the whole campaign going in, where we have the NNP stating, well, yeah, we are being tested, and look at this guys, they don't even know, they have not even held any political office. So chime in here on this conversation right here. What do you think would be the forefront leading conversation in this campaign coming up in this next election? 718-701-5720. We're taking your call live. That's 718-701-5720. You could call on the WhatsApp, and you could also call on the phone lines. I saw earlier someone was trying to call me. I tried to reconnect with them, but I didn't get them back. So Mr. Batiste, I believe, wanted to clarify his position on it. So if you wish right now, so you could call me in and I'll bring you in on the live. Again, guys, 718-701-5720. We're talking about the candidates. I want to know what's your reaction on this list of candidates. 7 new candidates, caretakers, have been selected. And they are going to be releasing a few more. If I could pull up the names of some of the candidates. We have Mr. Joseph Andel. He would is a candidate representing for St. Patrick West. Mr. Joseph Andel, I believe he was also a candidate in the last election. We have Deacon Mitchell, who is the political leader and representing for the candidacy of St. David. We also have Mr. Jonathan Lacrette, who is a new face, to me at least, on the political scene. Folks are saying that he would be a strong leading candidate for the constituency of St. George Northwest. But a virtual unknown to many people. We have Claudette Joseph, who folks know, she contested that same exact seat in the last election. She would be in the town of St. George. That's right now we have NNP candidate NNP candidate Peter David. Hold on, let me make a call. May have this guy calling right now because they have a point to make. And we have a few more candidates. I'm unable to pull up the information on them right now, but I want to know what you guys think about these candidates. These 7 candidates in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We have Tevin Andrews. Tevin Andrews, he contested the seat last election. He lost by a mere couple hundred votes in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Always been on the ground, always doing his thing. I guess this time again he's going to go up against the candidacy of Kendra Mathurin Stewart. And there are some changes in the NNP. We have the, I believe, Mr. Oliver, Nimrod Oliver. He is the caretaker for replacing the candidacy of Mr. Nicholas Steele, I believe, in his constituency, and a few others that might be announced within the time. So we will be seeing some new faces on both sides. I wonder what you guys think. All right, there we go. There's the call I was looking for. I want to know what you guys think about these candidates. Well, we got a call on the line. I've been trying to link up with this gentleman for a while now. Mr. Batista, how you doing?
I am great. I'm great. I'm top. I'm on top of the world. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, I realize. Guys, on the phone line right now, we have Mr. Michael Batiste. We played a clip from him earlier where he made this statement and talking about the inexperience of the political leader and the caretaker candidates. Mr. I hope you was. I wish that you were here earlier when we had Kem on, because folks are saying your point of view doesn't have any merit because we have Maurice Bishop, who was also young and some may have said inexperienced, but he did a lot for the country. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on the statement?
I think, Junior, I think you're making a very unfair comparison.
Okay.
And it's rather unfortunate you're linking Maurice Bishop to someone else. Maurice Bishop was a political activist. He came in to Grenada and immediately he hit the ground running. He represented a lot of people in the courts, people who couldn't afford a lawyer. He was there. He was holding meetings. He was on different platforms. He outlined a plan for development of Grenada. So I think it's rather unfortunate that you're making that unfair comparison.
Okay, all right. So give us your stance on the position and your position on Deacon Mitchell and the candidacy of the 7 that was selected today.
Well, I didn't hear the 7 that was selected. Fortunately, I was busy today. I didn't get the chance to look at it just yet. You know, we live in a democracy and everyone is entitled to offer themselves a service to the country. And in that case, I see no problem in Deacon offering himself. My personal position is that I've never heard him on a call-in program, never heard him on a platform, never heard him on any substantial issue. And as a politician, I've been a politician for a very, very, very long time. And it's rather unfortunate at this point in time. I don't know anything about the gentleman other than he's been selected as the leader of the NDC. What I do know is that he represented some corporate citizens, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. He took an oath to do so. But in terms of experience, we are into a pandemic and country is in a crisis, unemployment, hopelessness among our young people, our rural economic collapse, our health system is in shambles. And I have not heard any position to say that I could run with that. I could associate myself with that. And that's my honest opinion. I mean, others who take issues with that, I don't have a problem with that. That is what democracy is all about. Your right to express an opinion of your choice without fear of favor. So we are into a situation where the country is in a crisis. And we're looking at some new people that's coming in with no experience. Some of them have no experience in the workplace, in the world of work. Some of them may have worked with government and so on. So it's a hard sell. It's like you have to now sell that to the Grenadian people at this critical time. And what I'm saying is, if I saw some veterans, some people who understand what's going on in government, people who's been tried and tested and so on, I would say good, fine. I know where they stand. I know what their philosophy is on agriculture. I know on youth development, on unemployment, on the vulnerables. I know what the position is on the CBI and so on. But not knowing someone's position and just saying that you want me to jump, head over heels to lend support to someone that I don't know where they stand for. I think it's fair criticism. I'm not personally attacking anyone.
Right.
All I'm saying is I know nothing of the individual, and so and neither do you. All you know is that he was a corporate lawyer and he represented some big name clients and so on, and that's good for him. I have no problems with that. But when you're coming when you're changing lane, that's a different thing now. Politics have its own qualifications. Just because you're a bright lawyer or you're academician does not necessarily mean that you could be a good politician. Politics is about people, and it comes, as I said, it has its own qualification. And one of the first qualification to be a good politician, you must like people. because that is what it's all about. You have to be able to invite yourself into the feelings of the ordinary people, the single woman head of household, the vulnerable, the struggler, the fishermen, the farmers, the folks left out. Then you have to show compassion and hear the cry and craft programs to meet the needs. So that's what I'm saying here.
Right. How does someone? I mean, you have been in this for a long time. You from my constituency. I've known you on the ground for many years. How does someone gain experience in the field to become a prime minister? As Kem said earlier, what school of thought, what process would you assume that person should go to before they should be on a platform or want to put up themselves to be a political leader?
You must prove that you like people. That's your first qualification. You must prove that you like people.
Okay.
You understand the sufferings of the ordinary man, and based on your track record, you had at some point you have invited yourself into the feelings of the unfortunate, the left out, the vulnerables, the people on the bottom of the economic ladder, people crying out for social and economic justice. You have to at some point in time lend yourself, hear that cry, and respond to it. And if I have not heard that, I can't say Junior George would be a good MP. I mean, I know you. I know you're a Bronx man and all of that. But being prime minister, it's a different thing. I have to, and a lot have happened in the last 25 years. We had 8 general elections. We had 2 referendums, 2 hurricanes. A white man beat up a black man in Fort Judy in St. David's, and I saw Dr. Francis Alexis. I saw Derek Sylvester. They were there lending hand. I saw the young people coming out, crying out. They need assistance. I reached out. You reached out. Everybody reached out, and so on. And that is how you gauge someone's interest in ordinary people. I mean, you cannot live like an ostrich. Just push your head under the sand and all of a sudden, raise your head and say, hey, I can solve the problems. I have to hear something from you. Where you stand, how you stand on the rural economy, how you stand on agriculture. What is your plan for youth development? We have a situation here where we have a premier institution, TAMCC, that's in shambles. Our young people are crying out for assistance. How do we approach them? How do we develop our young people? How we empower young people? And all we're hearing now about the call to decriminalize marijuana. We're hearing all of that, but at this point in time, we have yet to empower the young people. Projects are coming into Grenada, and lots of projects are coming into Grenada. Our young people are sitting home, killing sandflies, some of them just hopeless, and if they do get a job, it's either to pull the gate or to push a wheelbarrow. They're unskilled, unprepared to meet the daunting task of the situation that we're in now. Those are some issues that I have been addressing in the forefront. I've heard others addressing it, and when I hear these issues being ventilated, then I can say, great. I mean, I could lend support to that. If I'm not hearing it, I'm not hearing these issues. I've never heard it. No, I didn't hear it now. I didn't hear it before. A lot happened. I mean, a lot have happened in the country. We've been in a struggle, and I have been in the forefront of the struggle. I have been a victim of the present government. My properties was taken away from me, my Pajero, my BMW, my Volvo, because I stood up against a child that claimed they were beating us up at the home. When a child was raped in Grenville, and everyone was afraid to speak, I went around the Parliament building and I demonstrated against that. I had the person arrested when a young man was run over in Soubise, and because of his economic status, no one was hearing his cry. I saw the case dismissed. I went out. I enlisted the support of lawyers that would work pro bono or work for free, and gave the young man a lawyer. Sought justice before the court, and we got justice for him. So it's not just jumping overnight and saying that I'm going to support Tom, Dick, and Harry without hearing the positions on many issues. As I said, I have been in the forefront, struggling for a lot of public issues. A lot of people been hurt by by society, and I was there where somebody been raped, and nobody is afraid to speak about it. I demonstrated whether it is in Top of the Lahore where the children were beaten and everyone turned a blind eye. Michael Baptiste was there. You know where I stand. You don't have to to like me, but you know what my position is on just about anything. Whether it's gambling, whether it's legalization or decriminalization of marijuana, I have an opinion on that. So I associate myself with people, with like-minded people who espouse these social issues that I feel so dearly about.
Right. We have Richard Isaac in the chat room is saying that Steele, Delma, Skeeter, what was their experience before?
Steele was a businessman, and I'm not a fan of Steele. I think Miss Delma Thomas must have taught in the primary school and did some social work among vulnerables and whatnot. They were in the community, lending hand to folks. You see, you're talking about someone that was not a community activist, someone that was not out there reaching out to people, hearing their cry, and so on and so forth. There's nothing wrong with living a sheltered life. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, when you come in and you say you want to be prime minister, you want to be a member of parliament, the question is asked, well, where were you? All these things happened. I did not hear you on some issues. Am I wrong to say that I never heard you on any social issue? I've never seen you marching on the streets. I didn't see you taking part in anything. I've marched with the lawyers when Hugh Wildman was here and they were trying to install him illegally as Attorney General. I have challenged Jerry Seals, a sitting magistrate. I took up the cause with Jerry Seals as magistrate. I wrote to the Judicial and Legal Service Commission in St. Lucia, and I told them that Jerry Seals were breaking the law because he was sentencing people. He was sentencing the people to prison for matters that did not call for custodial sentence. I called on the Bar Association. I was there. I took on just about every oppressive issue that happened in Grenada. I took it on, and as I said, including Jerry Seals, a sitting magistrate. Even though that there were times I had traffic matters before him, I went up before him and I said, no, you can't sit on my matter because I'm vocal against you and you must recuse yourself. So, and lo and behold, it was not until Jerry Seals was affecting the lawyers, then they joined the struggle. I have seen today, we have a situation in the court where we need judicial reform. Too many of our young people are going into prison. That's areas of legal expertise. I've not heard on anything on that. I would love to hear someone talk about judicial reform where we have alternative sentencing rather than sending young people to prison for minor offenses, and when they come out, they turn out to be hardcore criminals. I spoke up that. I want to hear that. I'm not a lawyer, but people like lawyers who have expertise in law should join in that cry and say, let's have judicial reform, not constitution reform, but judicial reform. Yeah. Let's have alternative sentencing. I go to the courts all the time to bail people that have been arrested for minor offenses. They spend sometimes 2-3 years in prison, and by the time the matter is heard, they're told you can go home. In the meantime, they already served time. No compensation, none of that. Those are burning issues affecting Grenada. Yeah, I want to hear leaders addressing those issues. And if you are not in the struggle addressing these issues, and now you're coming to the struggle, those are some of the progressive ideas, the progressive issues that's on the table for ventilation. Right. And am I wrong to say I'm not hearing that? I did not hear that in the last 10 years or whatever. Am I wrong to say so?
Yeah, you know, I need a whole hour with you, Baptiste. We need to talk about all these things, and I want to also get your position on and your plans for the upcoming election. We're going to talk about that quickly. You answer this question, but let me just say something, because I realize and I've recognized that some people hate to hear opposition to whatever they believe are. So some people in the chat, you know, this is not a platform to endorse any political campaign. We are not here endorsing NDC. We're not here endorsing NNP. So if by you hearing something different than you agree with, and you feel that is the worst thing you ever heard, then you could just log off right now because you don't want to hear it. But you cannot be like that. You have to listen. This is not this is not an NNP or NDC program. All right. This is not an endorsement for any one of the political organization, and everyone have a story to tell. And I will hear Mr. Michael Battiste's point of view. And if you want to listen, you listen. If you don't, you don't listen. So back to you, Mr. Battiste. What's your plans for the upcoming election?
Well, I intend to lend my voice to the national debate about the way forward. I believe that I've made serious contributions in the past, and I could continue to make contributions, especially in the way of youth development.
Right.
I am the only political that went around the country setting up classes, teaching youths marketable skills, whether it's electrical technology, basic electronics, solar energy, architectural drawing, and so on, automotive mechanics. I have been around the country and the constituency transferring marketable skills to our youth. I've been locked out of the community centers by the government because they saw the success of this program. I want to continue in that vein. I want to tell our young people that do not give up. I want to say to young people, get yourselves a skill. There's big money in skills.
Yes, but are you affiliated with any mainstream political organization? Are you going to be affiliated with the NNP, the GOLP, the NDC? What's your plans as far as?
Well, I'm a lifelong member of GOLP. The GOLP has issues at the moment. I intend to contest the St. Andrews Southwest on a GOLP ticket. Yes, I intend to do so.
Right.
And that would sort it out very soon. So
do you think by your position, do you think that you would take away votes from the NNP, and by your stance and what you've been saying, do you think that you would take away potential votes from the NDC, and if you want to see the backs of the NNP, do you think that you're actually boosting their position?
You know, and I'm glad you asked that, because when I hear that, I usually say that is deductive reasoning. Now, in 2000, I became opposition leader in 2000, one-man opposition in 2000. I had strategic meetings with the National Democratic Congress leading up to the 2003 elections. When elections were called, we had a strategic committee made up of Derek Alad, Chester Humphrey, Barry Forsyth, Peter David, Naz, and all of that. And we were talking about collaboration. And I did what was expected from me. And it was agreed at the time that they would help me in St. Andrews Southwest by either asking the candidate to turn down the volume, or turn down his volume, or in some kind of way, so that we don't trip over each other. I was the leader of the opposition.
Right.
I did what I had to. They had one motorcade, and I guess when they saw the magnitude of that motorcade, all the strategic corporations, all of the collaboration, all of that ceased. We went into a general election with the NNP, NDC, and myself with the GOLP, and NNP and the GOLP, we lost the seat to Yolande Horsford by a very slim margin. The votes that I got and the NDC candidate got was almost twice time what the NNP candidate got. Almost the NNP candidate got. In 2008, I was going to again run for election. I started campaigning, and then I say, you know what? I have to see the back of these people. So I jumped on the NDC platform and I gave the support. And I gave it wholeheartedly. They won elections. They never looked back. They didn't say a thank you.
Oh.
They didn't see it as it was an alliance that came together. George Worm, Judd Grant, Eddie Fredericks, Chester Humphrey, Michael Batiste. No, they didn't see it so. They saw it as a win for the National Democratic Congress.
So is it a vendetta now? Is it a personal vendetta now? You're going in with that vendetta?
No. When you talk about taking away votes, I'm going back to the history.
Okay.
I was the sitting MP. I was the leader of the opposition, and a very effective one too. They rode off my backs going into the 2003 election. And what was the result? 8-7. Because we went from 14-1 And with me as leader of the opposition, we took it down to 8-7. And then in 2008, we succeeded in getting the NNP out of office. So my record for cooperation is there. The issues that I feel so so great about, the issues that the social issues, the resurrection of the rural economy, namely the resuscitation of agriculture, development of our young people. Those issues was not properly ventilated. I want to put these issues on the table and said those are things that we must discuss. Our countries, our rural area has, our rural economy have collapsed. We have rural decay. You look at the scope, a village right on the outside of Grenville. That's the bedrock of poverty. I see poverty in Soubise, Monfan, Maki, all these areas here, and I'm not really hearing about how either parties, what are their plans to eradicate poverty. I want to hear about poverty eradication. I want to make a contribution in the national debate. My thing is not about the results, not about who I take away votes from, but to put some progressive ideas on the table as I've been doing, ventilate them. We have a situation now where we are talking about decriminalization of marijuana. We are talking about decriminalization of marijuana. I want to say to the young people, do not be fooled by that. I want to put an alternative. I want to say to the young people, you must insist that your representative do whatever it takes to eradicate poverty among our young people. Let's keep them marketable skills. We have community centers vacant. Do like I did.
Right.
Open up the community centers, involve professionals to come in here, lend a hand, and transfer marketable skills to our young people so that they can get high-paying jobs. They can build homes. They can buy lands. They can start a families. Decriminalization of marijuana is not gonna help you to buy a home. Not gonna help you to move forward. And we need to have a transformation of our young people. And the way I see it, and I've been advocating that, is by giving them marketable skills, teaching them marketable skills.
Right.
And we can do it. We have people here who we can enlist their support in this centers around. Let us have a massive training program for our young people. Our young people now are underemployed. It saddens me when I see people working for $700 a month and expecting to live on that. So we have work to do. Yeah. I'm saying I want to lend myself to the national debate in ventilating some of these issues. It's not about who you're taking away votes from. It's not about who I want to see go or who I want to see come. It's about talking about the relevant issues affecting my community.
Right.
I'm a Canadian.
Nobody could be mad. Nobody could be mad at you for doing that. I think more voices that we have in the conversation, more ideas. Because at the end of the day, you are Grenadian, just like as much as Deacon Mitchell or Dr. Keith Mitchell is Grenadian. You guys might have a different vision of how you might get to the finish line. But everyone loved Grenada. No one loved Grenada more or less. I don't think there's any debate on that. So the more voices in the conversation, the more ideas, I think it's a good thing. That's why I like to hear different perspective and point of views on topics. The more of that we have is always better for us. We cannot be tunnel-minded in terms of the decision-making process. We need to hear NNP, we need to hear NDC, we need to hear GULP, we need to hear TGM, everybody. We need to hear people because we all are Grenadian at the end of the day. But Mr. Michael Baptiste, we're way above time. I wanna engage you on a further conversation because I know you've been in this for a long time. I've known you for many years, doing well. But we're at a time right now. But we're gonna take on this conversation again sometime next week if you're available, sir.
Well, I thank you for having me on the program. I want to say a pleasant quality and let us engage in national discussion. It's not about who's taking away this or anybody running down anybody. The issues are important to us. And when you're going to elect someone to be, ask yourself the question: what's the track record? Where have they been all this time? Where they stand on critical issues? That's not attacking anybody. Those legitimate questions that need to be asked. You don't want to go and rush and vote, and then after you vote, like Grenadians always do, they start saying, "Oh, I want to cut out my finger, and I didn't vote for this, and I didn't vote for that." Let us hear people on the issues, how they stand on these issues. And if they have not been actively involved in the political discourse, you need to hear the positions on critical issues. And then, after hearing the positions on critical issues, then you could make an intelligent choice, my brother.
Thank you so much, Mr. Batiste. We really appreciate you joining us on the short notice on this program here. We'll keep in touch, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, guys, I don't understand why people dislike hearing other people's position on things. I don't understand. It's like you hate to hear the other side of an argument when it's necessary to form a conclusion. I mean, some people form a conclusion about who they're voting for already. They don't want to hear nothing else. They block out everything else. You know, like when in a horse race, they usually put that blinders over the horse so you can't see left and you can't see right. So you have those blinders. But this is not how I operate, right? This is not how I function. I want to hear every side of the conversation of the debate. Every day I sit here and we have a conversation about politics, and it saddens me really, really bad that I don't have someone who is willing to come and conversate with us from the NNP. And it's not because we didn't try. It's not because we haven't called members of the NNP to come on. We're having a conversation, a debate on this topic. I need someone to represent this conversation. And it saddens me that no one come. It saddens me that we had to have a conversation like today, and it looks as if it's a NDC push campaign, right? I mean, we had a scheduled conversation with the Minister of Education, and hours before we got blank. And I haven't heard anything from the Minister of Education. So it's like, I don't know, like we are so warped into this, you know, oh, he did so, he oversees so, and that's what he believes, so I ain't talking to he. That is crap. And we all form this kind of mindset that if something goes against what we believe, we shouldn't hear about it. We don't want to hear nothing about it. Or that person is bad, or that person is this, or that person is that. You wouldn't learn if you don't listen to different sides. And that's how I operate. If you guys do want to hear it, whenever we have a conversation of some part of the thing that you don't like, you're free to, you know, tune into something else. Go and play on your phone, listen to music, whatever the case is. But this is how we operate. This is not Government Information Service. This is certainly not NDC Heartbeat Program. We are not sponsored by them. We are not endorsers of any political organization. So rest assured, into this political debate, you would hear every side of this conversation. As long as they are available to come and want to speak, we're going to put them on. And that is how we operate. All right? That is just how we're going to operate here. All right? Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our programming today. Thanks to Kem Jones for taking time out of his schedule. Thanks to Jab Moses. We're supposed to have Cassandra, but she didn't get a chance to make it on the program. But we're going to have Cassandra. Cassandra, again, have a different perspective on this. I wanted to have this debate. I wanted her to talk about the things that is concerning to her as it relates to the candidacy of the new candidates coming in, and also to ask questions, right? But she didn't get a chance to make it today. Hopefully, she will be on sometime again. Tomorrow, guys, we have, and listen, here's another thing that has pissed me off. It's not political, though. People just want to hear what they want to hear. And if it's not what they want to hear, they're all over the place blasting. Oh, right along this and right along that. What does do all you? What all your minders tell all you sometimes? This is not a platform for one person. This is a platform that feeds the needs of many people that wants to be that interested in various content. On Thursdays, you know what we talk about. On Thursdays, all you know what we talk about. You put up the flyer hours in advance. But still, we'll see people going and talk about, oh, what are you talking about this? And you talking about transgender? Are you talking about sex? Are you talking about all this? Yeah, you know what we talk about. So if you know what we're talking about, and you know what we just do on Thursday, myself and Anselm, we come here and we read people's Dear Riders. People write all kind of things to us and we read it and we give them their opinion. But you still go and talk about what happened to Ridealong. Ridealong taking a different path these days because we're talking about things that's affecting relationships. What happened to all you? What really happened to all you? This is not for one person. This is not for one person's entertainment purpose. This is for everybody's entertainment purpose. As long as they find it necessary or want to listen, it should fit to the narrative. When we do immigration, people, oh, why are you doing immigration? Why did you talk about this? Why did you talk more about this? Listen, all you stop that. All you stop that stupidness. Stop that stupidness. This wasn't made for one person to sit down and enjoy. Everybody. And if something don't fit your consciousness or you don't like it, don't watch it. Simple, 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 just like that. Plain and simple. Can't make it any clearer. On Thursdays, dear riders, we're going to be talking about all kind of things. We ain't talking nothing about politics tomorrow. We ain't talking nothing about politics tomorrow. So if all you want to hear about NDC and NNP, all you can listen to GIS, or you can listen to the Heartbeat program, something else. That's all I'm going to say on that. All right? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I had to get off my chest because that was kind of lumping up a bit. I don't like things to lump up on my chest. Like to, get it out. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I love you. Love you guys. On behalf of all our production team here, we have Lois JJ, my senior producer. She take care of all the programming. She contact all the guests. She makes sure things happen. All our loyal supporters, I thank you so much. There are people on here who actually pay money. They pay up to $4, which is pennies per day, just to ensure that we could stay on air. There are people who are supporters of this program. Financially, they donate to the program. I thank you guys so much. Because of you, we could do what we do in here. We could build studio. We could have nice guests. We could accommodate. We could help people. We could donate. And that's what we're all about. So for the people who donate to us, who make sure that we could come here every single day, thank you so much. If you are a top fan, we thank you. You're always consistently here. You're sharing, you're liking. We thank you so much. If you share, if you comment, we appreciate you so much. This is how we're funded. Facebook engages, and Facebook basically ensure that they run ads in the program and we could sustain the program. Even if you can't spend money on the program, just by sharing, you are sustaining us. You're helping us sustain. And we thank you for doing that. All right? So on behalf of all our production team here, Lois JJ, Lynn, who is my senior producer, Kibbs, moderator, we have Deanne Fraser and Gail. On behalf of all our team here at Team Ridealong, we say thank you guys so much. Good night. Have a blessed night. Don't forget, if you have a business and you want to advertise, feel free to inbox us as well. If you have a story to tell, we want to hear your story, because on Ridealong Live, we say everyone have a story to tell. Yeah, everyone have a story to tell. Everyone have a story to tell. Good night.
Do you feel sick? Are you unsure? Or need to travel, but can't afford the long, exhausting lines? Then you need to be tested for COVID-19. Here at All Pro Health Lab, you can schedule your appointment online. No wait, no lines, no hassle. And get your results back in 30 minutes or less. Call now to find out more. 516-828-1808. Our agents are always ready to help. Hear why everyone is talking about All Pro Lab. It's quick, efficient, and tests are guaranteed in 30 minutes or less with full certification. Check us out online at allprolab.com or call 516-828-1808. All Pro Health Lab. Call today.
David Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
Hello there. Let me introduce you to the Nutmeg Band. Playing in the background is the latest release, Take Me to a Party.
Take me to a party.
This music is now available on leading online stores. So please, pick up your copy today and tell all your friends about it. Get your copy now.
Take me to a
Well, it's on Ridealong, so it's happening here.
Came over here. What does it mean? You know, I grew up in what I guess you call a typical family.
We break all the stories, and that's just a fact. And that's why everyone has a story to tell.
Ridealong Live. I mean, yeah, it's a real deal.